So more energy than we could probably stand. By herself could light up a small city with the joy that she brings.
None of my university professors were like that. I'll tell you that.
Not one, not one. Anyway, so tell me, what were your key learnings? What did you take away, Adrian?
Okay, well, I think this first thing of authenticity, executive presence. Oh my gosh, I deal with this a lot with my coaching clients because, we work with some CEOs, but we also work with a lot of people in the mid who want to make that leap. And we're constantly thinking about, how do you become more authentic? And you want to shake some of these folks and say, just be yourself. But it's hard, isn't it?
It is. Connect with yourself first was my first big takeaway in our conversation. Gosh, know who you are and don't be afraid of who you are. Yeah. Sometimes, well, if I tell them that, they'll think, or, if I admit that I've got grandchildren, does that make me look too old or whatever? Just say, you know what? Everybody has a story. Everybody's story is interesting. Tell your story. And then, have these exercises. The question, what's your favorite Thanksgiving meal? And how that was so revelatory about family traditions and who they invite and
getting people to open up.
Yeah, I found out more about my people talking about Thanksgiving than I ever did by saying, hey, tell me about yourself. Right?
Well, I think just, not being afraid to be who we are, especially, I remember being with a young Chester Elton once. And you and I, we went out to visit a sales guru speaker guy who was, we were paying him a lot of money to tell us how he built his speaking empire. And after about an hour, I was just listening to this guy and, he had some pretty coarse language. And after about an hour, Chester stopped and he said, hey, he says, by the way, Bob, we'll call him Bob. By the way, Bob, Adrian and I, we're both religious guys. The language you're using, it's not really appreciated. Could you tone it back? And I was like, oh my gosh, no, we shouldn't be doing that. But you were vulnerable. You said, look, this is who I am. And he just immediately stopped. He goes, oh yeah, no problem. And it was just like a light, switched off where, he just started using professional language. And I was really impressed that you did that. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. It's funny. I've told that story 2 or 3 times. Said, look, if it bothers you, just tell him. Wouldn't you rather know than at the end say, you know what? I didn't hear a word he said because there were so many F-bombs in that sentence. Yeah. I just thought that Michelle, her story about being vulnerable, and we've all done that, we say, gosh, I'm in the business school, I've got to be like a business person, and then all of a sudden stepping back and saying, well, wait a minute, this isn't who I am. I'm fun, I'm energetic, I want to create a movement. It's not like, hey, don't just buy my book, join me. Let's get rid of all those jerk bosses, which, by the way, she's not saying get all these people fired. She's saying help them be more authentic, help them be a better boss, and join me in this crusade. And with that energy, why wouldn't you want to join, Michelle?
Well, and moving from this idea of fear-based leadership, which nobody thinks they do, but if you are a perfectionist, guaranteed you are creating, fear in your organization, to creating a culture of connection. And why would that be important? It sounds also fluffy. I've got to hit my goals. No, because people then can speak up and they can offer up their best ideas. And you heard what her research showed, right? Leaders who actually ask, "What do you think?" and take that advice, they make more money.
Yeah. That aha moment. The guy was afraid to tell me that his baby had started to walk. That's when you've created a toxic culture. Well, just in closing for me, I love that she said, put yourself first. We often as leaders put ourselves last, and we don't eat right, and we don't exercise, and we don't do those things to put ourselves in the best place. So I love that bit of advice. And it's, I think we all need to hear it. It's a nice refresher. Take some time, go for a walk, do your Pilates, ride a bike, whatever it is, eat better, take some time to make connections. To take care of yourself first. It was a delight to have her on the podcast.
It was. So we want to thank Michelle for joining us today, to our producer, Brent Klein, to Christy Lawrence, who helps us find amazing guests, and to all of you who listened in. Thank you so much. If you like the podcast, please share it, download it, make a collage of it, whatever you want to do. But let us know what you think about our podcast.
Yeah, and join us at thecultureworks.com. We've got all kinds of fun stuff there. You can order our books. You can look at some of our training and some of the stuff we do. We also have a wonderful newsletter on LinkedIn called the Gratitude Journal. Sign up. It's all free and it's all great stuff. I have to say that because my mom's not here to say, and it is fantastic because she would. We also love speaking, at events. If you want a great and engaging, keynote speaker on culture, teamwork, resilience, handling anxiety at work, we'd love to do it, whether it's virtual or in person. So give us a call. We'd love to speak at your event. And as always, Adrian, you get the last word.
Well, thanks everybody again for joining us. And until next time, we wish you the best of mental health.